So, before the inauguration of the Senate, there was a lot of expectation by the people.
Yes.
Would you say or agree that the initial leadership crisis that we saw, would you say it was a major offset to that expectation or challenge?
No. For me, I think the emergence of the 8th Senate, it's a very peculiar circumstance. It's in the sense that this is an uncommon Senate. It's a Senate where no party has clear-cut two-third majority. It's a Senate where PDP has 49 senators, APC has 59 senators or 60 senators, and a clear two-third majority is about 76 senators. So I think, for me, I believe that the APC miscalculated, because there is no way you will tell me that a party which controls 49 senators will not determine who becomes the Senate president. So I think that initial shock, I believe very strongly that the polity has overcome that initial shock, because we in the National Assembly saw no reason for all the issues that were being raised by the outcry in the public place, outcry by the APC. Because I believe very strongly that this is one National Assembly that is very independent, and we must also respect the doctrine of separation of powers. Because the law allows us, the senators, to elect our own Senate president. He is first amongst equal. And majority of the senators, fell in line with the His Excellency Bukola Saraki, because we believe he has the capacity and he has the integrity to lead the 8th Senate. I think so far so good. He has done extremely very, very well.
Now, to what extent do you think that slight hiccup in the takeoff of the 8th Senate, that slight critical crisis period, to what extent do you think it affected the operation of the Senate?
I did not see it as a crisis. I saw it as a misunderstanding on the path of one party.
Did it upset normal legislative duties?
We were still carrying on our normal duties. Mind you, it's at the beginning of every session, the Senate will take its own time to find its feet. It's not a Senate. It's a Senate where you have only about 30% of the senators as returning senators. 70% of us are all new. So in terms of legislative experience, it takes us time, to key into the system. But now I can assure you that we are fully settled for our legislative businesses.
Okay, talking about fully settled for legislative businesses, how would you assess this Senate in the olden days in terms of bills that were treated?
Well, for now, for me, it's an achievement of this Senate that in less than 2 months of our resumption, we've taken several bills on first reading, and we've also taken several bills on second reading. And by the time the committees are in place, which we have been assured that by the time we return on our recess by the end of September, all the standing committees of the Senate will be in place. Most of these bills will then be forwarded to the committees for their own input. So but you see, we find ourselves in a system where the media perception of the Senate is different, because they feel, some people of the power bloc feel that the Senate did not fall in line with their wishes. But we believe very strongly we owe this country a duty to ensure that democracy survives. And the only way democracy can survive is that if the people are given the liberty to choose who they want as their representative, as their leader at any point in time.
What perception are you talking about? Is it the perception that you and your colleagues in the Senate haven't spent enough time to your work, and that you have spent the best part since June 9 on recess?
No, we have not been on. We have not been on recess. But the initial, what kind of recess? It is a standard that once a National Assembly is inaugurated, most of the new returning senators are given time to go back and resettle. And these are the issues. So I don't think we've really gone. This recess that we are now going now, that we are in right now, that will terminate on 28th of September, it's a normal summer recess. So I don't really understand what people are talking about. Are we not doing our job? Are we not carrying out our responsibility? We find ourselves where we have to wait for the executive to come up with ministers, for senates to do their oversight functions and all that. So I believe very strongly that the shortcomings of the system is that of the executive and not that of the National Assembly.
Good. Can we quickly talk about motions? Do you think there have been substantial treatment of motions? Are you a member of?
Oh yeah, because I mean we have done a lot of motions, and these motions have led to resolutions that have brought about several ad hoc committees. I'm in the office today. I'm supposed to be vacating with my family. But I'm in the office today because I'm a member of the ad hoc committee on customs duty waiver, the abuse of customs duty waiver. But we are still working. And the committee for ethics and privilege is also working. The committee for works are also working. The ad hoc committee for power, they're also working. So everybody is working. What the Senate, what we are going through now is just the plenary recess. It doesn't mean that the committees are not doing their job. The Senate President, as I speak with you, is in New York attending the United Nations Conference for Parliamentary Leaders. So everybody's up and doing, but we don't believe in selling the activities of the Senate in newspapers. We owe this country a duty to ensure that we bring about dividends of democracy for our people.
Now, one major talking point since this 8th National Assembly, in fact, it has been on since 1999.
Yes,
has had to do with the salaries and allowances of lawmakers. And for this 8th Assembly, I think my ears is going deaf over what people earn of salaries and what you earn as allowances, and whether what you earn actually commensurate with the volume of work that you do.
Well, I think this issue has been completely overflowed. As I speak with you, I think I'm better off going to be a commissioner in my state than being a senator, in terms of if I want to look at the monetary income. As a senator, I earn about ₦1 million salary. So what are we really talking about? The allowances, what is it? Are we earning allowances that are outside what the revenue moderation stipulates in their act? For me, I think this issue has been overflowed. And when the governor says he has reduced his salary by 50%, he should also reduce the insecurity vote. If the president says they have reduced my salary by 50%, reduce your security vote. Do we do contracts? Do we have contract administrations in the way you can fall back on in the executive like they do? Do we have contingency fund we can fall back on as we always do? Do we do our own contingency projects? They're all executed by the executive. So when you place legislature in the front burner, we owe this country a duty. I represent the constituency of 9 local government areas, the largest in Akwa Ibom. So I'm in here to serve my people. So I'm not really interested in how much I make or how much I earned. I think that the salaries of all public officers are clearly spelled out by revenue mobilization. So it is not the duty or the function of the Senate to reduce the salaries. Why do I have to do my own salary? Let the revenue mobilization do what you ask them to do. Let them do their job in line with the economic realities. So I think we need to de-emphasize these issues. The so-called wardrobe allowance is 42,000. Can that afford a pen or a tie in a month? Even if they want to raise the salaries, you are at liberty to do so. But let me also point this out. Please, we must ensure that members of the National Assembly are well taken care of to avoid influences by the executive, because in terms of oversight functions, where you allow a senator to be a pauper, he will not have a choice than to fall back on the remedies of the executive. So we need to understand, we must try to strike a balance. How much are we earning? When you look at the budget of the National Assembly, you say 150 billion, you divide it by the number of senators and number of House of Assembly members. In the National Assembly, are you aware that there are components of the National Assembly? There's Nigerian Legislative Institutes. There is a National Assembly Service Commission that starts over 3,000 in the commission. Senators and members of the National Assembly have their over 3,008, and they all must be paid. I am telling you from the point of fact, go to my account. My salary in a month is about ₦1 million.
A month?
In a month. Can I run ₦1 million a month? I think we are paying the supreme sacrifice. Let this country move forward for once. And let this executive, let the president be given enough time to settle down and carry out his business. Because he has made several promises to Nigerians, and we are holding him to it.
Can you give us an assessment of 100 days in office of President Muhammadu Buhari? How would you assess 100 days?
Well, for me, I think the party, they must have had their own projections in their first 100 days. But what we are seeing recently in the papers are disagreements upon disagreements, and I believe that governance it's about performance, and the president should be bold enough to come out and say, this is what I have done in 100 days. And for me, Buhari will make a very good president. He's working well, he needs time. Like he said he's slow, but he's slow and steady. So I think we will still need to give him some time to see, because within the first 100 days, they've not been cabinet in place, they've not been statutory appointments in place, it's just coming back in now. So I think we'll still give the 100 days of the president can be taken into account effective between now and December, which is the first 100 days. You can see that the first 100 days, because the appointments are now coming in. Certain statutory appointments are now being made, and so I think we need to give him some time. He wants time, we'll give him time. But Nigeria is in a hurry because we want change, in line with the gospel of change.
Some people say his appointment has been lopsided. What's your take?
It's good for Nigerians to assess. But for me, I believe that our people are not being carried along. This country belongs to everybody, and every facet of the society must be given a sense of belonging from the beginning. From the beginning, the South East have not done anything wrong in Nigeria. We only stood by PDP. But when you become the leader, you are the leader of the nation, and you are bound by the Constitution and by your oath of office to be fair to all facets of Nigerians, no matter the tribe, religion, and geopolitical affiliations. So I wish my dear president very well, because I know that he has a good plan for Nigeria. And for me, we are ready to work with him to ensure that he brings about dividends of democracy.
Quickly, what about his fight against corruption?
Like we said, I align myself with the position of our party, that the fight against corruption must be holistic and not selective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
My name is Bassey Albert.